All praises to the Most High Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, in the name of the Holy Spirit, the Earthly Mother, sanctifying Yahushai, the Holy Son. Brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, this is your humble servant, Big Levi. And today is Tuesday, June the 23rd, no, 22nd, 2021, and it's currently 2:24 a.m. My apology, I was studying, and since this morning I could not sleep because of the people upstairs making all that noise, and I'm not too firm, I'm not too term. Peace be with you, brothers and sisters. There'll be no Jacob's trouble. Fast, pray, repent, repeat. Uncover your heart. Bend the knees of your heart. Submit yourself unto the Most High. Let Him take control. Let Him do His stuff. Now, as Genesis 15, verse 13 is being fulfilled, and Genesis 15, verse 14, He's being administered as we speak, and the Most High is releasing knowledge unto us. Now, beloved brothers and sisters, for some of you, it's going to sound a little bit odd. It's going to sound complicated, but it is the truth. It is what it is. And it's going to sound a little bit confusing. I would say a little bit more perplexed and complex, if I am saying this right. Beloved, we are going to go through this lesson. And before I go any further, I'd like to say shalom and thank you for everybody that's doing a great and wonderful job of sending me emails, news, books, and dreams and all that, praise report, all of that good stuff. It is good, brothers. Please let it coming. Let it keep coming. Let the Most High have all the glory and praises. And I'm gonna try to talk a little bit lower and a little bit slower because it's 2:26 a.m. We got other people in the house and stuff like that. So, yeah. Thank you for all of that. Shalom. Thank you for all the people that keep the chart room clean and get rid of all the trolls. Now, this book here, beloved, is called The Secrets of the Lost Race by René Norbergen or Norbergen. Now, this dude, he wrote a lot of stuff in this book. This book came out in 1973, I believe. Now, once you start reading this book, brothers, you're going to see all those history channels, all those ancient astronauts. This is just a bunch of swagger jacking, man. And we are going to certain things, to certain chapters, certain books, certain videos. I must see if I can make sure I put the excuse me. I must see if I can make sure I put all the links in the videos that we are going to discuss. And all you have to do is to go in the link on the description, like so, and then you would click the link, any of the links that we have over there, that you can see all the video that we are going to talk about. Now, with that being said, brothers, let us move to chapter 4. We are going to discuss ancient aviation, how people used to utilize the technology that the Heavenly Father gave unto them, and they used to travel throughout the earth, and they used to visit things. Their vessel used to fly on the air and underwater, and so much, and also in space, off world. Okay, they call it off world. Let us go ahead and see. So this book is by this fellow right here, Mr. Rene right here. And remember, brothers, this book was written in 1973. Those people going to make sure that everything they put in there, they're going to call it Western, light-skinned people, European, and things like that. So they're going to make sure that they put all those stuff in there just to throw you off. All right, let us keep on moving. This is chapter 4. All right, let us read the title. Advanced aviation in prehistoric time. Again, brothers, there's no such thing as prehistoric. It's just, let's define this word, prehistoric. Those people are slick, man. We have to call them. Define prehistoric.
Here's the definition of prehistoric: relating to or denoting the period before written records.
This is all lies, man. This is all lies. Relating to or detonating the period before written records, as if Adam did not written anything and Eve did not, or the angels did not written anything, or nobody didn't written anything. They may not wrote as we know on paper or rocks, but the moment you're self-aware, your history begin. History do not begin with people writing things. History begin the moment you come out of your mother's portal. You're aware, you start crying. This is history. History begin when the Most High breathe onto you. That's your history begin. But history begin truly, the whole history truly begin with the Heavenly Father. And we don't know when he was created. We don't know when everything is going to end. He has no creation, no end. So the moment the Most High exists, this is history. Once you start talking about like the Most High and all that, this is history. There's no such thing as prehistoric and all that, or very old or out of date. I would say I'll take the second one, informal, very old or out of date. So, and our people, brothers, and he prehistoric, what they're calling prehistoric time, we were so advanced. All right, you're going to see this and this book. It also connected to the book that the beloved brother Big Judah is being bringing the information about how advanced, how far ahead we were back then. Now, advanced aviation or aviation and prehistoric time. The word aviation is coming from the word French avion, I believe. Define avion. No, yes.
According to Wikipedia,
Yes.
avian, the French and Spanish name for airplane, powered fixed-wing aircraft, coming from Latin, avis, bird.
Yes, that's what it means. Avion, it's aviation. It's French mean power fixed wing aircraft, but it's in French. Let me see the tradition in tradition in French. What is it? I forgot. But boy, I would have I would have get beaten in school when I was learning French. Avian abbreviation. Let me see if I can get it. French avion abbreviation.
In French, that's
Abréviation de l'avenue.
Oh, no. But let me get it. That's not what that is. Okay, I almost got beaten here. So I just remember I used to argue with a kid when we were in French school. So, avion mean appareil volant imitation oiseau naturel. A mean appareil device. V mean volant, which mean flying. I mean imitation, which mean, well, imitate, mimic. O mean oiseau, which mean bird. N mean natural, natural. So if it was in English, it would have been machine, machine flying. Well, this will be a flying. Well, M machine flying. Imitation bird natural. It would have been that name amphibian, okay? Or this is me just making stuff up, okay? Flying machine imitating the natural bird, okay? It would have been a FMIB, okay? A flying machine that imitate the natural bird. So that's what the word aviation coming, but it's in French, okay? Now, with all that said, aviation, that mean anything that imitates birds, natural birds that flies, okay? Now, this is chapter 4 of the book, the Lost Races. Now, you may have to, you may want to read the whole book, but you really don't have to, I'm just going to bring a little until we're done with this book. We already done chapter 3, and then we're on chapter 4 now. And after that, I'm probably going to do chapter 1 or chapter 2. Chapter 2 is very important. That's what we're going to do. Now, soon after the destruction of the Babel World Center, a number of secondary civilization centers emerge in various parts of the world. The initial catastrophe that cast the globe into a period of chaos and confusion may have lasted as long as a century, during which time many of the pre-Babel nations lost contact with one another, while still others were probably overrun by migrating tribes uproot in their confusion. What this guy is trying to say here in a previous chapter, for those of you not reading the book, and Nimrod, when he was, for those of you who watch the video that I upload, let me see if I can if I can put a link there so I won't forget, because most of the time when I see this, and let me get a link. Okay, so the beloved brother just uploaded a video 2 minutes ago. I believe it's the Colin show, which I only have a small portion of time to watch what he is talking about. Okay, so this video, a lane that is not okay. All right, our forefathers used the micro lines for flight and levitation. So let me get a copy of this. Gonna put it there. So just in case if somebody want to watch that, and let me put the link so the people can do that. Forgive me, brothers, I'm doing this thing as it comes into my head. I never really prepared none of those things. I just, while I'm doing this and things are beaming into my head. So yeah, so in this video, brothers, we discuss in the book about Babel, and we discussed in the previous chapter. Let me just summarize the whole thing for you. We discussed in this book, in previous video, in that video that I just put the link, that Nimrod was trying to build a power center. You see, when you want to control the ley lines, once you want to control the energy that flow around the earth, you will need a power station, just like a cell phone. Around you, around your neighborhood, or around the earth, they have what they call towers. Okay, cell phone towers. Let's see if we can take one of those cell phone towers. Okay, they have cell phone towers or phone towers.
According to Wikipedia.
Okay, so those are the towers. So Nimrod, okay, was building a tower, a giant tower. He called it the Tower of Babel. Okay, this was a giant ley line. It was sitting on a giant ley line. What he was trying to do, according to this book, brothers, I understand some of you read other things, some of you have other thoughts, but I'm telling you what's in this book, and I am not open for a discussion, and I am not open for a debate. This is not a debate. This is just what it's in the book. Now, this Babel, this tower, that's why they call it Tower of Babel, not a house. He was building a power station, a central battery. Okay, so he found a place, and the ancient Atlantean, they say there's a massive amount of energy there. So he was building a power so he can suck up all the power around the earth. Okay, so he could connect. So he can power the entire earth. Anybody that wants to do anything, they have to come to him. He was going to become the Messiah of the earth, so to speak. He was going to become the God of this earth. If anybody need anything, you have to come to him, because the ley line practically control everything. If you need your food to be gold, you have to come to him. He will say, okay, I stay in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, this is my address. Can you switch the ley line on there and protect my house and have my food go and my pet, my children act naturally? And you will have to serve him and give unto him tribute. You have to pay him, and then he will switch the ley line onto you. If a country decide to go against him, all he had to do is switch the ley line and make everybody sick and make everybody crazy. Like the brother was talking about the lunar, how the moon make people crazy, lunatic, all of that. So that's what Nimrod was trying to do. But the Most High spoiled him, the Most High weakened his loin, trembled his hand, the whole plan foiled. Now, after all the plan foiled, the tower was swallowed by the earth. It's still there, brothers. The tower is still there. It's just the earth swallowed it up. According to the book of Jasher and according to certain other books that we read. I understand and I know certain other people, you read other books, brothers, and this is not a debate. This is us bringing information. The tower is still there, but the earth swallowed it up. Okay? It's still it's still inside of the earth. That means it show you the earth is really deep, man. All right. Now, with that being said, they lost the technology. Okay, they lost the amount of stuff that they were doing. Now, this is they lost the knowledge that they were doing. Okay. Now, because they lost the knowledge and they were post-Babel, after Babel, after the whole tower got swallowed up by the earth, then they start discovering very big center point. Okay, they're starting to discover big center point now, and those big center point they start to see in those areas. They found 8 areas. Let us read it. There were 8 centers of post-Babel high civilization where the remnants of the pre-flood technology were treasured and utilized. What he trying to say here, after Babel, after Atlantis, well, Atlantis happened way before Babel, thousands, hundreds of thousands, and probably literally millions of years before Babel. Okay, that's according to certain other books that I'm reading. Atlantis, like way millions, probably a billion years. It's hard to believe, but it's the truth. Now, after is that thing even recording, man? I don't want to be talking here and then oh boy, okay. Seems it's recording, but it's not recording high until I'm talking like this, but it's recording. Now, brethren, after Babel, after Atlantis, and then the remnant of Atlantis, of the Atlantean technology exists. Then Babel was in the time of Nimrod, and the opposite of Nimrod is Abraham. Okay, all the knowledge were passing on unto Enoch and to all of the brothers and unto Abraham. Remember, in the book of the pillar of fire, mostly all the book, Abraham was a king of the earth. In the book of Enoch, Enoch was the king of the earth. All the kings of the earth come unto Enoch and tell Enoch, look, we want you to be king over us. That means we want you to teach us. We want you to teach us about your God, how we can please him, how we can do this and stuff, which Enoch did. But that wasn't their true plan. Their true plan is like learn as much as they can and take the power for themselves. That is why they become so co-op. Even Enoch's father become, even Enoch's son, Methuselah was Enoch's son or father? Let me see. Oh boy, I keep forgetting. It's a little bit confusing. Let me see. Who was Enoch's father? I think Jared.
Enoch's father is Jared.
So, who was Methuselah's father?
Methuselah's father is Enoch.
All right, I got that right. So sometimes some stuff pass in my mind. Now, Methuselah, Enoch's son, at the end of the book of Jasher, he did not walk straight in the path of the Most High. Okay, at the end, he become co-op, so to speak, according to the book of Jasher, which we are going to go on into once the Most High released me from the task. So all those kings, all those people, all the knowledge, they scattered after Atlantis. Okay, according to those books. Now after Babel, it's kind of like the same thing repeat. The civilization, they scattered. Where do they scatter? Listen, brothers. Okay. These centers were in the Middle East, always begin with the Middle East because that's where everything began. North Europe, gotta get the white folks there, the Arctic, India, and is now the Gobi Desert. Okay, I'm not quite sure where the Gobi Desert is. Where's the Gobi Desert?
Mongolia.
Yes.
According to Britannica, Gobi, also called
Oh,
Gobi
Gobi.
Desert, Great Desert and Semi-Desert region of Central Asia.
Okay, Gobi Desert and Mongolia. Okay, it's like close to China and stuff like that. See how they excluded Africa? They excluded everything, but they of course they want to tell you the fourth part because this is where the true fourth part is. Okay, which is in the Gobi Desert, Antarctica, Western and Central South America, and Southwestern North America, and the Caribbean. So what you're seeing here, most of the places were here in the fourth part. Okay, Antarctica, Western and Central South America, and Southwest North America, and the Caribbean. Okay, most of the places were here, but we know if not all of it were here, they're trying to make it look like, okay, well, civilization began in the Middle East. Now, during the initial period of chaos, these centers were cut off from one another, but communication was soon reestablished. One of these contact methods appeared to have been by air. Strange as that may seem in our age, for we still consider the Wright brothers' invention a spontaneous outburst of creativity befitting the 20th century. Many legends recorded by subsequent peoples containing remembrance of period when aviation was a well-known concept and flight was a frequent occurrence. All praises to the Most High. This dude tell you straight up, after they discover all those 8-point centers, they find out their records speak of flight, speak of contact, and the contact was by air. That means we're not gonna even go Atlantis because this is way too advanced. We're going to go in the timeline or the epoch of Abraham. Let's see if I say this word, the royal epoch. Define epoch.
Here's the definition of epic. A period of time in history or a person's life, typically one marked by notable events or particular characteristics.
Here we go.
Epoch.
Well, epoch, or whatever. Excuse me. Wow. During the epoch of Nimrod and Abraham, beloved, like we've been telling you, just like they just said it, they confirm it. Abraham used to travel by air, so does Nimrod. Abraham used to use the cave and open portals, the menhir, the megaliths, the dolmen. Okay, well, it didn't mean higher menhir.
According to Wikipedia, Munir El Haddadi Muhammad, or simply Munir, is a professional footballer who plays as a forward for Sevilla.
Huh? Well, I just hear you and stuff. I'm doing a lesson. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm just got up and used the restroom.
All right then. Well, it's 2:47. Just.
That's why you need to go to sleep.
Yeah, I'll be going to sleep. I'll just do that. Okay. Love you, sweetie. All right. Oh boy. Wife checking on me. So the menhir, those are the menhir, okay? Well, in English they call them menhir, but we like to call them menhir and dolmen, okay? Those are portals, brothers. And the beloved brother Abdullah Seer made an excellent video that he discovered. Okay, those are portals, things that they were hidden. Nobody ever known excuse me. Okay, nobody knows about those things. Okay, he had
So family.
Part 3 right there. Okay, part 1. Those are energy places, portals. Okay, there is a video. Okay, this is an entrance to a portal, brothers. Okay,
A shout out over there.
okay,
Nah, let's go to Louisiana. Oh,
okay.
they're under curses right now, right?
So you can just walk up through them and then
Is it Louisiana?
you up
Flooding?
here. Okay. I would like to tell the brothers, thank you so much for shooting your video in full resolution. You can see everything. It's not one, two black bar and black, Big Levi always complain about that, okay? This is a portal, okay? If you know the right word, you got the right instrument, you can just walk up to there and appear anywhere that you please, all right?
A bit wet. Oh, damn. I almost said it. I was sad.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
Not yet.
all right, let me be nice. Okay, so y'all, this is a beautiful. Oh, look at the face. A little nose right there, hon.
Yep, that's what it is.
There you
Nose.
go. Come here.
Okay, so that's what that is. I highly recommend. You know what? Let me put you know, I'm doing this as I go, brothers. It's just excuse me. I don't make plan. I just let the Holy Spirit beam things into my head or whatever it's beaming thing, or if I'm crazy. Okay, let me see. All right, let's take the link. There you go. Let's take the link right here. Pop, pop. Okay, all right. Now those things are portals. The menhir, those things are portal. Menhir. Oh no.
Here's the definition
Dolmen.
of mania. Mental ill.
No, dolmen.
According to Wikipedia, the
Dolmen.
Doberman or Doberman pit.
There you go.
According to Wikipedia,
Dolmen. So those things, they are high energy things. They are portal. It doesn't necessarily mean, brothers, you have to go through the door. There are some type of incantations, certain objects and artifacts that you get. You just type it, you say the word, and the portal will open anywhere. They're like center batteries. Okay, they're like giant batteries that power things. You don't need to go through them, especially. They just certain things, they power things, just like your cell phone have towers and all that. So now, what they are saying here, brothers, in all those area, they find out, brothers, they have, those people used to communicate by air. And they used to fly. So in the time of Abraham and Nimrod, okay, certain time they told you Abraham was in his country, and the Most High said go to back to Chaldea or Mesopotamia and stuff like that. And he got there in a few hours. Okay, and he got there in a few hours, and they want to show you in the map that Mesopotamia and Chaldea is next to each other. No, those things are like, they were like sea apart. Okay, and Haitian culture, one of the old men Druid tell us, like, Abraham used to go into the cave. The caves are nothing but portals. Okay, crystal cave. Okay, so all those crystal, like this cave right there, is super hot. Those are not what that is. It's not what, when you walk up on those things, it's not what that is. Those things have coordinates in them. Okay, those are coordinates. People think like, oh, this is look crystal. All of those crystals, they have their properties. You can touch one of them, and then he will tell you, this is where I can send you. You touch this one, ding, Alpha Centauri. You touch that thing, ding, Orion Belt. This planet, they can send you. It sounds weird, but it can. That is why in the movie, Superman, Crystal Castle, yeah. There we go. See, in the movie Superman, you think this is a coincidence where they showed you Superman has his people, has like highly technological stuff, and then his people, his family, they got the technologies are built on crystal. It's not a coincidence, brothers. Okay. So if you watch the movie Superman, I know some of you may not watch it. So their technology, our technology, are in a lot of crystal, aka rocks, so to speak. All right. I'm not quite sure if you guys remember those crystal. Okay. You can go ahead, and all those things, brothers, they are highly technological, advanced things. Remember, brothers, those people cannot build anything unless they see it from us. That is why they say the Wright brothers did not invent the airplane, brothers. They reverse engineering what we had, and they did an awful job. They didn't do a good job. They do like the worst. They do a rat ass job. Okay, there are crystal out there, beloved. Don't go out there and start buying crystal. It doesn't work like this. I've been saying this for a lot of time. Those things have, highly powerful things on them. You don't know what they have in them. Some of them have spirits. Okay, the beloved brother Abdullah Seer, he learned that the hard way. Okay, it's not like those things could have hurt him. It's the Most High, tell him to slow down, listen to him. He will send him the orders. All right, now, beloved. With all that being said, sorry, brethren, it's just me all over the place. It's already been 30 minutes. I'm not even done with the first page. Anyway. So now, in one of the earliest preserved records of flight, it is in the Babylonian set of laws called the Halkata, which contains this passage to operate a flying machine is a great privilege. Knowledge of flying is the most ancient of gift of the gods of old for saving lives. Excuse me. Give me a second. Now, in the book of the Pillar of Fire, we understand and we know for a fact that they regard Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. They survived the flood. They look upon them as God. Because Noah and his 3 sons, they live hundreds of years. Where their children, they were mixed and they could live like a few hundred years or like few years. They look at Noah as gods, and there are certain books that you read, and Noah traveled all the earth when Noah was separating and sharing the earth. And in the book of Jubilee, he gave Shem the best land, the land that have the season, Ham, the hot land, the land that is super hot, and he gave Japheth the cold land, the land that snow all the time. But Shem, he gives Shem the best land. Now, when you cannot divide the earth by not knowing the earth, you had to travel all around the earth, and you have to do it above the earth to see the entire earth, so you can be in that spaceship or whatever airplane or aircraft and tell your children, listen, Ham, this is yours, the hot. Japheth, this is yours, the cold. And Shem, this is yours, the best. And all your children that are going to come up with your loin, they're going to inherit it. Okay? So you have to be above the earth to see things like that. Now, excuse me, brothers. The Babylonian epic of Etana describe a prehistoric flight. It is preserved for us in a fragment text and coining form, dating back to a period between 3000 and 2400 BC. I never trust those people dates. And I never look. This is historically speaking right now. This is my first time reading their dates. I never trust them. I never read them because I know they have no idea what's going on, what happened. They like to cobble up things together. Listen to this. This epic tells of Etana, a poor shepherd. I love this story. A poor shepherd who finds an eagle with injured wings. He nurses the eagle back to health, and in return, the eagle promises to take him on a journey up into the heavens. Etana thereupon mounts the bird, and together they soar off into the sky, gazing at in intervals down the earth below. This is where it gets really strange. Well, really interesting. At first stage, the eagle cries, "Behold, my friend, the land and how it is. Look upon the sea also. Lo, the land has become like a hill and the sea like a watercourse." This observation is made after an ascent of a double hour of march. In modern terms, 6 to 8 miles high. So they were flying, brethren, 6 to 8 miles from above the earth. This is very high. Now, it is occurred to me that this dude, I'm having a mild headache right now. Because I don't sleep. I'm not quite sure if I fall asleep, brothers, let me know. Well, it's not live. Put it in the comments if I fall. But so it is just occurred to me when I'm reading this book. I'm like, wait a minute. This guy is going to the stages of the heights of the earth. Okay? Rising high above Mesopotamia, Etana can see the mountains of Armenia and the north. And to the south, to the southeast, the sea of the Persian Gulf, looking like a watercourse or river stretching on the horizon. According to the inscriptions, the two climbed 3 double marches higher before the eagle again direct Eternal attentions to the earth appearance. Now, they left a first stage. Now they're on the second stage. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me pull that up for you folks. All right, I got it. What are the stages of the atmosphere?
According to Niwa, the atmosphere is comprised of layers based on temperature. These layers are the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere.
Now, the bird, beloved, a bird. I don't think a bird can reach the troposphere. Can it? Can a bird reach the troposphere? Six. Anyway. So this is the layers. Okay, this is the layers of the earth. So now the bird was in the troposphere. Okay, and then now he get to the stratosphere. And then the bird said, look again. Every time he get higher and higher, the bird keep telling him, well, you know, brothers, it's not a bird. When they say this dude find an injured bird, no, he find a craft, a messed up craft. And the craft is highly intelligent. The craft taught him how to repair him. Okay? The craft have like some type of AI in it, some type of intelligent data in it, some type of intelligent computer. So the craft, taught him how to fly and stuff, and the craft fly with him. And then he get into the troposphere. We know a bird cannot reach the exosphere. Okay? Okay, so they were in the troposphere and now they are in the stratosphere. Okay? If I say this right. All right, let us read on. Okay? According to the inscription, the two climbed 3 double mark. Okay, that's like 18 miles higher before. The eagle again directs Etana's attentions to the earth appearance. From here, he said to the earth, looks like a plantation. All right, it's a nice choice of word, but anyway. All right, and the land is like a hut surrounded by the courtyard of the sea. Etana has reached a height from which he can see the waters of the Indian Ocean, the Red Sea, the Mediterranean, and the Black Sea encompassing the Middle East. This is a bunch of garbage. These people, they are. I despise when Gentiles have our record, and then they'll explain it to you like, oh, he must have seen the Middle East, because that's where it happened. As they look from still farther up, the land appeared to be like a grinding stone. For those of you, now when they're going up, most likely they are in the mesosphere, and then they start seeing the shape of the earth look like a grinding stone. Now, why is this? Why is a grinding stone? Let me take a lesson that we made. You may want to check this lesson. Let me check that right quick. All right. Now, talking about the stone, and he saw the stone, the earth looked like a millstone. It looked like a grinding stone. There's a lesson, a video that we may call the answer to the Codex of Giolla-De. Well, anyway, in the thumbnail, it says response to Big Judah, millstone bread. So, let me see if I can put this. It's an excellent lesson. I will advise if you want to watch it, and you do. Sorry, my beloved brothers and sisters, and I do those things while they pop up in my head. It's not planned. Okay, so in this video we explain the codex that was in this book, Annals of Island or something like that. So you may want to check that out. Now, when it gets to that, I believe the mesosphere, again, brothers, it's not what that is. This is just me trying to understand this, okay? Because they don't say this in this book. It's just, I don't know, whatever's beaming thing into my head, that's what it is. Once you get to a certain height, it starts seeing the earth differently, okay? He got to the mesosphere, okay? Now, okay, grinding stone. In the sea like a gardener's canal or irrigation ditch. The mountains are no longer distinguishable. From this altitude, the surface appear even in curve, like the surface of a grindstone. At the circumference, Etana sees the waters of the ocean surrounding Asia, Europe, and Africa. He got to the whatever sphere he got. Probably he got to the still in the mesosphere, okay? Still in the mesosphere. He got above the stratosphere. Those are levels of the earth, okay? And each of those levels And I believe the stratosphere is very cold. The troposphere is cold. The higher you get, the colder it get, and the less oxygen that you get. Okay, now let's see where we are. Okay, now higher still, the eagle remarks that the earth now looks like a garden, okay, the sea like a wicker basket. The various characteristics shapes of the continents are now apparent, as their orange deserts, dark green forest areas, gray valleys, and brown yellow mountains, which look like the colored patches of a garden. Now, Etana also sees the oceans of the world, this time no longer as surrounded ditch, but as separate basins like various baskets filled with water. How could a bird fly that high? He's now in the thermosphere, brethren. That's like 50 miles. How could a bird fly 50 miles above the earth? Is that what that is? 50 to 400 kilometers. Okay, no, wait, hang on. Let me see. 400 kilometers and miles.
400 kilometers is equal to 248.548 miles.
How could you fly 240? A bird can't do this, brothers. A bird cannot fly 248 miles above the earth. He's in the thermosphere right now. He's getting higher. All right, let us keep on reading, brethren. Let me see where we at right now. Finally, he reaches a height where he and unable to distinguish between land and sea. That means he's so high, the earth become one. Everything, he cannot see land, sea, mountains, trees. Okay. He has reached an altitude where the clouds and water vapor of the atmosphere hide most of the Earth's features and a bluish white haze. At this point, the journey ends and Etana and return to the Earth. That means he reached the last part. He reached space. Well, not really space. He reached the exosphere and then the firmament. He could not pierce or pass the firmament. He did not have the access to go through the firmament. Okay, the exosphere, he could not go into space. The bird can actually go there. It's just that he could not go there. Okay, so he reached the highest he can reach, the exosphere, and then he come down. All praises to the Most High. Beautiful story, man. Beautiful story. All right, he could not go. He could not pass the firmament. Okay, the only myth element the epic contain is the eagle. Okay, who represents some form of aircraft that with the passing of time, which is true, okay, which is true, all right, a bird cannot fly that high. Let me see how far a bird can fly to the atmosphere. Okay, let me see how far a bird can fly through the atmosphere.
According to Live Science, many bird species live in habitats that are over 13,123 feet above sea level, and others routinely fly to altitudes of approximately 10,000 to 13,000 feet, especially when they're migrating, said Graham Scott, an assistant professor of biology at McMaster University in Ontario, Canada.
Let me see this. Let me see. I'll probably answer. Most bird below 500 feet. Okay, no. How far a bird can reach in the atmosphere?
According to BirdNote, however, during migration there is good reason for birds to gain altitude.
Birds cannot fly that high. They cannot fly miles above the earth. I believe the only bird that flew the highest was the peregrine falcon. Let me see. What's the highest flying bird?
Ruppel's griffon vulture. According to Quartz, the two highest flying bird species on record are the endangered Ruppel's griffon vulture, which has been spotted flying at 37,000 feet, and the bar-headed goose, which has been seen flying over the Himalayas at heights of nearly 28,000 feet.
30,000 feet. Let me see. What is this animal? This is the first time I heard of this animal, flying goose or whatever. Wow, that's a vulture that's flying really high. Okay, let me see. That's a vulture. Wow, this bird is the highest flying bird. It fly the highest. And then they didn't say a vulture, they say an eagle. We know the eagle is like it's an aircraft, what they are talking about. Let's see how airplane What's the highest flying for a commercial airplane?
Around 42,000 feet.
Okay.
According to simple less than B greater than flying less than B greater than. Most commercial aircraft are approved to fly at a maximum of around 42,000 feet.
Okay, they cannot.
This maximum is also known as a service ceiling.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they I'm not a pilot, brothers, but they don't really allow them to go above 40 or 50,000 feet. I'm not quite sure how many 42,000 feet is in miles. I don't think I can convert that. How much 42,000 feet in miles? Kilometers.
42,000 feet is 7.955 miles.
7.7 miles, 8 miles. That's like the first. That's like this. Let me see. Oh boy, that's like the first stage. The bird took him. The aircraft took him to the first layer where the commercial aircraft fly. Okay, then the bird go higher and higher and higher. Those guys cannot go that high, brothers. They can't. They tell you they went to space. They can't. It's too hard. It's too difficult. The Van Halen belt. The Van Halen belt.
Showing pictures that match.
Okay, all right, they kind of screw me right there. But anyway, you got my picture. You got my stuff. So anyway, brethren, let us keep on moving. Okay, now you read this, and let's finish this. Okay, certainly. Let me see. The only myth element in the epic contains in the ego who may represent some of the aircraft that in the passing of time was transformed into a bird by people ignorant of the mechanics of flight. Okay, whatever the vehicle of ascent may have been, the Epic of Etana certainly supplies us with very accurate description of the Earth surface from various altitude. It's amazing. Various altitude mean very like to the atmosphere. Okay, description which were not verified in our own era until the high altitude area flights of the 1950s and the first space shot in the 1950s and 1960s. You see what they're saying here? They said when they read this story, they did not understand it, brothers. They could not understand how this guy get into a bird, which they know for a fact it's an aircraft. They know very well what that is. But he gave accurate description of the Earth until those guys starts flying in the 50s recently. Remember, this book was written in 1973. So like 20 years, 20, let's say to hell with it, 25 years later, they just start to understand, wait a minute, this guy that got a Etana, he really did saw all those things. They could not, brothers, they could not deny it because they never fly that high. Till the 50s, they fly that high. And then space shot, whatever, man. In the 60s, then they realize what this story is true. They could not prove this, brothers. Till now, brothers, they have so many of our records. They don't know what it is. They cannot prove anything. They just leave it there and they will show you. Okay? Now, question. Who made and recorded this observation in the ancient East before 2400 BC? Again, I don't trust that stuff. Another Chaldean work, the Sifrala, dates back more than 5,000 years. And though fragmentary, it is a work filling almost 100 pages of English translation. Okay, archaeologists and ethnologist Y.N. Ibn Aaron. What a name. Anyway, man, my rap name was Ibn Black, but this dude is Y.N. Ibn Aaron, whatever, who worked on his decipherment. Okay, found to his astonishment that the Sifrala or the Sifrala is a detailed account of how to build and operate an aircraft, brothers. 5,000 years ago. They find technology 5,000 years ago. To the guy's astonishment, he was like, he was amazed, he was dismayed. Like, yo, they give you information, and then look what they're gonna swagger jack you right there. Look what they say. Yes, but the text speaks of various parts such as vibrating spheres, graphite rods, and copper coils. And on up the subject of flight, the writer, let me show you what the swagger jack, the writer comments on wind resistance, gliding, and stability. Unfortunately, this comes the swagger jack. Unfortunately, many key lines of the text are missing, making any attempts at reconstructing the craft impossible. You got to be kidding me. Unfortunately, many key lines of the text are missing and making any attempts of reconstructing the craft impossible. You see what they did there? They said they find a 5,000-year-old book that explained to them how to build flying machine and how to operate them. And then they say, yes, but unfortunately, many key lines, many stuff, they are missing, which is making the thing impossible. Are you freaking kidding me right now? You think the Wright brothers, they ever invented anything? That's how they swagger jack your stuff, brothers. Let me see. That's how they steal our stuff. You think this guy right there, Jeff Bezos? Yeah, great. No. Okay. Will Jeff Bezos be an astronaut when he traveled into space on Blue Origin flight? It's complicated because experts say there's still a debate about where space begins. They still now, brothers, they have no idea what's going on with space. It's still, they claim they go to space in the 60s. Over 40 years, I would say, over 60 years. 60 years ago, 60 years later, they still are arguing where space begin and what's in there. They really don't know. Those people have no idea what they're doing. Okay, now one of the stuff, brothers, that I see, and those guys are a bunch of blummer now. They don't have that much money they are claiming. Okay, Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos. Let's watch this. This is crazy. All right. You think that those Jeff Bezos guys, their technology, you think they just come up with this? Blue Origin logo.
Blue Origin. Here you go.
You got to be kidding me. Blue Origin logo. Once we start finding black feathers, once we start finding feathers, all of a sudden this guy want to go to space with his giant feathers and his Blue Origin. He got his own protection. He's going to go I don't know, in Mars or in the moon or whatever and stuff like that. Those guys can go a few miles above the thing. Why do you think they got the plume, the feather? You think they don't read the story of Etana on the giant eagle? We just read this. You think those guys? I'll go to this. Let me see. You think those guys can just build their spaceship? Or you think they build those things because they are so good at engineering? No, man. Those guys swagger jack stuff, man. Blue Origin spacecraft. You think those guys can do things like that? You think they just that look like anyway? Well, you think those guys can just have those things, go over there and launch them? You think that's how that works? You think they're smart like this? They have our books. They put their giant black plume there because you know why? They know what that means. They know when they put things like that, they can somewhat, I don't know, fool the angels. Like, hey, we are one of the Most High children. We got a black plume too. We are flying. Hey, look at us. Look at us. That's what those guys do. You think those things that they are doing, you think like they actually come up with that? Let me tell you something. When I was a young kid, okay, not young kid, 2013, I was like in college. This image popped up in my head. I was writing a comic book. I called this device a CP1000 interdimensional travel device. Okay, well, interdimensional skipping device. I don't know what that is. It just popped up in my head and I was drawing. I don't know what it is. I just draw this. This is a sort of vehicle that I imagined that pop up in my head. and those two, those are the steering wheel, but they're not steering wheels though. They are sphere. Okay, they are giant sphere. And then when you are reading this book, and then they give you, excuse me, excuse me, brothers. All right, let me show you where they said, oops. Let me see, sphere. Okay, all right. So, another Chaldean work, the Srifala, okay? Archaeologists and ethnologists Y.N. Eban and Aaron, who work on its decipherment, found to his astonishment that the Srifala is detailed account on how to build and operate an aircraft. The text speaks of various parts such as vibrating spheres, okay? Those are the vibrating spheres. I had no idea. And this thing was like in 2013. I painted this in 20 December June 6 June 6 26 no June 26 2013. All right, I made this, okay, and during this time I built this machine, and I, for some reason, these two vibrating sphere, okay, sphere. All right, let's see, what do we have here? Sphere. Okay,
According to Wikipedia,
those things pop up in my two black sphere, and I saw those two black sphere, clear black sphere in my hand. Let me see. Okay, and then I sit in some type of chair, and then there's a high graphic thing that display in front of me. There's a bunch of markings, and then this thing can travel anywhere: space, land, underwater, anywhere, any planet, any dimension. It can travel through it. I have no idea how I was drawing those things. Okay, this dude is like a superhero that in my head, I imagined that I played, that had the military like clothes on me. I still got those stuff in here. I still got the how do you call this thing again? Oh boy, the drawing. And this guy, his name is Cadaver Black, so I call him Cadaver Black. Those are a bunch of high Iron Man like graphic, and I had those two sphere, and I was controlling this aircraft. Okay, and then brothers, okay, let me get rid of, no, not like this. Let me see. Okay, now this is a video that I made back in 2014. I had those things was beaming into my head in 2013. So, and I made these floating cities, and I call it. I call it New Haiti. For some odd reason, I was drawing, and then I saw a city, okay, a giant, beautiful city, a giant freaking city come out of the sky like this. And then it has 3 engine propelling in the back like this and floating on the sea. And I call it New Haiti. That was like February 28, 2014. But that image been in my head ever since. I can't even remember. Okay, to me it seems like, wait a minute, I got this from New Genesis, Justice League and stuff. So, but I made this, and then I uploaded it. So that's a giant CD that it was in my head, so I imagined this. So let me show you how that beautiful that CD was. DC Comic New Genesis CD. Oops. CD. Oh boy. There we go. New floating city. Okay. All right. A golden floating city. Okay. Those things are real, brothers. Those people cannot imagine things like this. All right. That's what I saw. And then I kind of like trying to build this thing. Okay. Okay, flying city over there in the sky. Okay, that's a high father and all that. I go to this some of the time, most of the time. Okay, Superbia. Superbia comic. Yeah, I gotta stop doing this. Here we go. All right, Superbia. It's a comic. It's a flying city with a bunch of superheroes in there. People with, flying that Superman like, super strength and stuff like that. It's a bunch of things, man. And and then it just now appeared to me, just happened like those things. Most likely, I was receiving information. Anyway, I'm not saying this is what that is, brothers. This is just me making a point that those machines that we saw, we used to they are talking about right here. We can build them. Okay, we the Most High give us this ability to do things like this. Okay, and let me see. This machine, brothers, in my imagination, not vision, but imagination, it can transform to this into a Terran. Okay, is that what that is? Terran. Okay, CP1000 Terran mobile wheel. So there is some type of thing that I don't know. I did, and then it transformed to some type of. It can go on land. And then the two sphere, one on my right hand, one on my left hand. Okay, this was in the 24th. Okay, June 24th, 2013, and this is the thing. All right, boom. So it transfer, and then it can transform, and then I can fly. I can do anything in this machine. That was just in my imagination. I have no idea how I did these things, but anyway, let me see. The sphere, we're done with this, and let me see, what do we have? All right, so now, beloved, I'm not going to take all the stuff. I'm just, how long we are into this thing, brethren? Woo, an hour. Okay, I'm not gonna make this long. Let me cut it at 30 minutes now. And this stuff, they show vibrating sphere, graphite rods, and copper coil, and other subjects of stuff. Let me see. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, let's finish. Let's stop on page 123, right? Okay. Comments on wind resistance. Okay, that's the book, a 5,000 years old book, brothers, that giving you instruction how to build those things. Okay. Comments on wind resistance, gliding, and stability. Unfortunately, many kids, okay, they swagger jack. Those books they find, brothers, they are in good state, brand new book. They just like well kept book. Listen, your forefather will not watch something for you in a book, in a paper, like things after 5,000 years, it will just decay. They will not want anything that important in any type of paper or a recipient that will decay. They will want this on tablet that will stay forever and ever and ever. They will want it on a piece of a paper that will engineer, that will stay forever and ever and ever. They will never want something that important in a piece of paper that they know if a fire started, it will be burnt. They know if some water fall on it, the information will be gone. Those people are liars. They are liars. Okay, now they're going to give you other information. Early Chinese annals also contain several references to the art of flying. Emperor Shun, who reigned between 2258 and 2208, he reigned like for 50 years, reportedly not only constructed a flying craft, but also tested the parachute more than 36 centuries before Leonardo da Vinci. Which means, tell you, brethren, the people that used to live before us, they were far more advanced. Don't listen to anybody telling you, oh, well, we just discovered the internet. Science is created in the lab, genetically modified food, genetically modified animal. It's a bunch of lies. Those people cannot create anything. They can only corrupt everything. They cannot create anything. They can reverse engineering some stuff that they saw. They cannot create anything. In 1766 BC, another Chinese emperor, Cheng Teng, ordered a court artisan named Kai Kong Shai to construct a flying apparatus. The craftsman built the machine and flew it to the province of Onan on a test flight. The emperor, however, had the area craft destroyed so that its secrets might not fall into the wrong hand. The secret of flight seems to have survived until the 3rd century BC, for the Chinese poet Chu Yun penned his experiences while flying in a jade-colored craft over the Gobi Desert to the Kunlun Mountains in the southwest. He made an aerial survey of the region and accurately described how high soaring craft was unaffected by the wind and the dust of the wasteland below. And even as late as the 4th century AD, another Chinese writer, Ko Hong, spoke of a flying car made of wood and possesses rotating blades, can cause the car to travel skyward. In the same country, in the same century, a flying craft also appeared in Ceylon, where the Buddhist monk Gunnavahaman used it to fly to the island of Java, a distance of 2,000 miles. Those are not myth, brethren. Those are not myth. Those are not story people just say. People don't wrote things thousands of years ago just to prank you in the future. More swagger jack incoming. Reference to flight also appear in the Buddha Vasmin Brihat Kata Shrakakasmamgraha of Nepal, a 12th century written version of oral tradition of unknown age. 12th century. I love the number 12. It was first published in Europe and Félix Lacote French translation in 1908. The Brihat Kata tells the story of Human Vit, the servant of a king who desired to travel about the earth in a flying vehicle. Okay? In order to satisfy his master, Human Vit commanded the court designer to construct the needed flying apparatus, but they informed him that they were unable to do so. They knew the workings of many machines, they declare, but the secret flying machine was known only to the Yavanas. This is where it gets good. Now you got this king. He called one of his servants and artisans, so to speak, an engineer. He said, yo, listen, I want you to build me a flying machine. I want to fly, see the world and stuff like that. And the engineer talked to him. He said, master, I know all kind of machine, but I don't know how to build a flying machine. The only people that know how to build a flying machine, those people are called the Yavanas. And we have to go to them to learn how to fly, how to build and fly a flying machine. Who were the Yavanas according to them? Yavanas was the Sanskrit names for the lighter skinned people of the Eastern Mediterranean. Swagger Jack. Yavana was the Sanskrit name for the lighter skinned people of the Eastern Mediterranean. They had to go to white people so the white people can show them how to build those flying machines, because they're the only one that had the knowledge. You see what they did there? Brothers, anytime they see the things mean white and stuff, that means they were our people, man. They're Yavanas, man. They say, oh, we have to go to the children of God, the blacks. They have this. More specifically, Yavana is derived from Javan, the name of one of Noah's grandsons, whose descendants inhabited mainland Greece and the Mediterranean island in the first few centuries of following the flood. They put Greece in there. Ancient Greek. They had to come. Let's go to the ancient Greek. More swagger jacking, man. More lies. Okay? So there are many stories, brethren. Okay, let me see if this is one important. No, okay. Look at this. More swagger jacking. Ancient flight in the Pacific. Now they go to the Pacific. Legends very similar to those of the Nepalis are found among the Polynesians. On the South Pacific island of Ponape, the natives tell of learned men with lighter skins than their own who came from the west long before the European explorers arrived. These former light-skinned men came in shining boats that flew above the sea. Their stay was very brief, but the natives still speak of the magical works the ancient Westerners perform. You got to be freaking kidding me. Light-skinned men show up and show them Westerners. Hang on, brothers. Let's define this word. Define Westerners.
Here's the definition of Westerner: a native or inhabitant of the West, especially of Western Europe or North America.
Show me picture of a Westerner.
Listings for off of
All right.
Westerner around Miami Beach. Here they
Nah,
are.
that's not- Show me picture of a Westerner. Okay. Wait, I see cowboys here. Oh, anyway, so, oh boy, thank you, Father, for a real cowboy. Anyway, my point is, brothers, when they say Westerners, when they say the Western civilization, they mean white people. Remember, this book was written in 1973. They meant white people, okay? Now let us keep on moving, okay? The Aboriginal inhabitants of Manga River, the largest of the Gambier Islands, also have tradition of flight, which dates from the ancient past. They recounted how a flying canoe with great wings clasped tightly to the side appeared before them, and how the priests who operated for flying were able to fly great distances as far as the Hawaiian island, nearly 2,500 miles away. Now, brothers, they make a very distinction. Those things were flying by a priest, okay? The Sakara bird, and you see this thing on an ancient alien all the time. In 1898, a small model plane was discovered in a tomb near Saqqara, Egypt, and was dated at approximately 200 BC. At the time of its discovery, the birth of modern aviation was still several years away, and so when the strange object was sent to the Cairo Museum of Antiquities, it was catalogued as special register number 6347 RM22, and then shelved to gather dust among other miscellaneous artifacts unrecognized for what it really was. You know what that means, brothers? In 1898, they discover an artifact that looked like a bird. They didn't even know what it is. They put it in the shelf to gather dust with a bunch of other things that they found. They don't know what they are. Till this day, brethren, sistren, they still have artifacts, our artifacts. They don't know what they are. They don't know what they do. Certain of them I saw, I'm like, wow, they got one of those things. Grandma told me this. They have no idea what that thing is. I saw those people with this stuff. And I told you my grandfather have one of those artifacts, and it is passing on, and we have it. And I'll give the Most High all praises and all credit. I'm like, thank you, Father, that we have one of those artifacts. Those people have no idea what that is. Up until like years later, they realized that it was an airplane. Okay? They realized what it was. All right? How long we are into this? I don't want to keep you guys for too long. All right? Let me go ahead and tell you, show you certain stuff. Now, when it comes to flying, our people are no stranger. Give me a moment. Well, all right. I think it's like 526 megabytes. I'm probably gonna read the whole chapter. Let's see if we can read the whole chapter. And I don't want the lesson to be too long and boring. But anyway, when it comes to flying, brethren, our people are no stranger. When it comes to magic, when it comes to the supernatural, our people are no stranger. I am going to play a video, this video right here. Let's get to it. This gentleman that you're seeing here, this gentleman that you are looking through your screen, he was a high priest on the dark side. He's what you call a Bokor. He's what you call a hate man from the left. He used to do a lot of things according to him. This is his testimony. He's speaking Creole, but I'll do my best to translate what this man is saying. And he's being very sincere. He's being very, very real. And I pray that if I go back there, I could have this man and, you know, talk to him and gather whatever knowledge I can gather from him. This is what he said.
Son expérience ou fait qui passait mal au soir. Et pendant que le procès, pendant que il dit c'est à nos vies, nos miroirs, pour me quitter lui, dans les communautés autant, même la dernière organisée avec le monde.
Okay. The man say, why did you change your life? Why did you left all those backward stuff, all those evil stuff? Why did you left them? Why did you left? Why did you leave? Why did you abandon? Why did you quit? He said, I never did. It's not me. He said, one day I was about to get somebody, quote unquote, to take this person somewhere for a ride. And I was about to get a sister. And then he heard somebody, a voice say, that's enough. He heard a voice say, stop, halt, stop it. That's enough. With a voice of authority that say, that's enough. And then he stopped and he turned around. He saw a big eye. He saw a big ass eye look at him, and then he fell on the floor. For those of you who read the book, The Throne of David, you already know what kind of, who was that eye that told him that's enough, stop. Okay, then he fell, and then the guy going to talk to him again.
Madame son fait tout mal en Afrique, ma parle son dans l'église. Mon y a fait prière mini, nous dit alléluia et puis mon calotte en les bas. Avion son bon chose. Mal tombé bon en main.
He said, brothers, this is not me. If you speak Creole, you can understand. I put the link in the description. It's called let me see, old Haitian fellow describing his ley line flight experience. What this dude say here, he said he was flying on a piece of metal. Okay, a sheet of metal. Let me see if I can get the image. Excuse me. A sheet of metal. There you go. Something like that. You know, a sheet of metal. You know what he said? Excuse me. Throughout the interview, I'm not going to play the whole thing. Oh boy, that's not. I don't want to buy this thing. Oh, okay. Let's take a nice image like this. He was flying. This is technically what he said throughout the interview. When they say a piece of metal, how you be able to fly? He said there are some incantations, certain things you can say. You can touch this, it will turn into a flying machine. He said this piece of metal, the actual metal, there's a property in the metal that can obey your voice. He said you can say it and then will turn into a high flying machine. He was onto this a flying machine, and then he was flying. He was going to go in Africa. I think he said in Africa or India to meet other guys that, you know, do things like this. It was like midnight. So he was flying high, super high. And he was passing on the above a church, and it was like an Adventist church, or I believe it's an Adventist church, and they were having like a midnight prayer, and somebody say hallelujah, and then the word, the power, the word hallelujah, yeah, and then the word slap him from the vehicle that he was flying on top of this church. And he was passing, he heard the voice, and then he fell on the side, and the vehicle, they say the avian, which means the airplane, he said the airplane fly on the other side. Let's listen again. Okay, let's you say right here. Okay, so somebody says stop it, that's enough, and then he turned around, you see a big ass, you see an eye behind him. Okay, and then let me see. Oh well, you know what an eye is. This is me just doing scumbag stuff. Okay, and then he says, somebody says stop it. When he turned around, he turned behind him, he saw eyes looking at him, and then he fell on the floor.
Malgré ça, je peux convertir.
He said, even after that, he said he didn't want to give up. He didn't want to change his life, converting and all that bull crap. You have to eat the meat, spit out the bone. He said, even after he heard that warning, he didn't listen. He still continued doing the same garbage.
Madame son fait tout mal en Afrique. Ma femme sont dans l'église. On y a fait prière minuit. On dit alléluia. Et puis on calotte en les bas.
He said he was at some midnight. He was flying on a piece of sheet, a high flying vehicle, okay, in the spiritual realm, brothers, okay, in the spiritual realm. The title of this video say, "Vintande yon boko kap di comment yo faire fauchever dans monde invisible avec pou de coulev," which mean come and listen to this boko that's telling you how they make fake air and the spirit in the invisible realm with snake powder. So technically he explained to you all those fake air those women are wearing. They made them in certain places. They are actually snakes. That's what he said. I'm not telling you it's true and stuff. I'm not interested in this. So he said when he was flying in the piece of that piece of metal, he heard he was passing by the church. And somebody say, hallelujah. And then the word Yah slap him from the vehicle. And then he fell, the aircraft that he was flying fell one side and he fell by the sea. This is what he said.
Avion sont bon chose. Mal tombé bon en mer. Des matins fait beaucoup de la terre, l'agonie.
So I say I fall next to the sea. In the morning, he spent the whole time, sleeping on the ground and stuff like that. Let's take another 30 seconds, then we're good. You can watch it and then you make up your mind. But brothers, you have to get the Holy Spirit have to tell you when he's telling the truth and when he is not, because certain things that he say it's not the truth. He's just trying to graft people into the Adventist church or whatever.
Vous voyez des humains, ils disent les bons méchants à progresser.
Ils vont tomber. Pas où ça va tomber là?
Bon, mais
on va prendre tout ça dans
So he said he said once he fall by the sea and he call out, okay, he actually get into a crash. He fall out because the Mosai used the ley line and slap him. He used the ley line to fly, okay, to that sophisticated machine. Then he fly, and then he fell. And then the woman said, and then he said, well, you know what? He felt like his days near. He said, I gotta change my life because that was a final warning for him. And the woman said, okay, well, did you fall at your house or where did you fall? He said, I fall in the Wharf, the Jeremy Wharf. It's a place called, it's a place in Gardens called Jeremy and stuff. I'll go back to this whenever the Most High put it in my mind. So, and then he said let's cut it off at what this. I know, brothers, sisters, I know you guys want to know everything about that dude saying. I may have to do a whole complete video if the nation want, and I'll translate stuff. But then anyway, it's all stuff. Anyway, let's see.
Tomber là. On va le faire sur 5 heures du matin, on va commencer à envahir. Nous tournons dans moi-même et puis une photo.
So he said he took him almost until 5 a.m. in the morning to gain conscience. He said, I have pictures with me. If I show it to you, you'll be amazed. Technically say, if I show you those pictures, you'll die. Okay? Okay, he said he prayed on them. He prayed them. He said when he's preaching, because he's now a pastor, so to speak. And then he said when he's preaching now, he showed to people, but he prayed upon them. He said, I got some picture that he took when he go to this realm, to this quote unquote the dark side of the spiritual realm. Picture of demons, picture of people that he took. He got them. He said, I can show it to you, but it will kill you.
Est-ce que son bagay ou fait avec? Non, depuis à 6 ans, diable de la ville.
They say that when I was 6 years old, one of the evil spirit. When they say job with me, a devil, a demon, a spirit, that's what they meant. You know, our Haitian people, man, you really don't want to discuss anything with them because they everything is devils. But no, it's a spirit. When they are kids, the spirit, you know what happened here? This man is one of us. He has certain magical things to do. He has an ability that he was born. The Most High gave him this ability. Even before the spirits, the evil spirit came in and claimed and said, this boy is mine. He's going to work for me. He did a lot for this spirit called the devil. That's what they call it. They call him demons. He does a lot for the spirit. But at one point, he did so much that the Most High pop up behind me and say, that's enough. Okay, he done his job. He's done. And then he turned around when he see the eye, and then he fell. This is highly spiritual, okay? We're not going to go into this anymore, brothers, because we're going to take the whole video. How long we are into this thing, man? An hour and 24 minutes. Now, this man, our people used to fly. The whole point here is, brothers, this is about flying and flight. This has nothing to do with this man being a demon and all that. That's not what that is, okay? Anytime we have time, we'll go into this. But, you know, anyway, the link is in the description. You'll find it here, I believe. Whole Haitian fellow describing his ley line, flight, and experiment. Now, brethren, the so-called enemy, they can use the ley line to a certain degree. Not anymore. Okay, this man, he was like a double agent. The Most High used him as a tools to do the work in the left side, and then the Most High pull him back out. Okay, I'm not quite sure if he's alive. If he is, I'm gonna do whatever I can, you know, to get this dude phone number, and then they may have a good interview with him, proper sound, and tell us what he saw on the other side. All praises to the Most High. Let's get rid of this now. In another word, when our people used to fly, okay, let's listen to this again, because that's from the beloved brother Big Judah. Okay, let's see. Father, in the name of the, let me see.
And they want to say, oh, that stuff is made up, that stuff is fake.
Yeah, it's fake. That's what they always.
But then they want to make movies about it.
Yeah, they want to
make movies about, you know, these superheroes who had
flying,
you know, super, you know, natural abilities.
Mm-hmm.
But you see right there, by sleight of magic, they flew through the air, not with wings, but like the Irish druids. Okay, so our people used to fly. They got flying machine and stuff. Okay, this video, the link is in the description. Now, our people have, they have abilities. Now, beloved, this video, it's called a machete martial arts master share his secrets. Okay, so he's a Haitian fellow. Those people were born with ability. I can't play this video because they'll strike me. He firebend. You know what firebend is? He actually light this light. He actually light this candle without no source of light. He light it with his thumb. He can firebend it. If you watch the video around like 2 minutes and 12 seconds, he firebend, he turn on the light like this. My grandmother used to do this all the time. I told you. My grandmother is what you call a mambo, a voodoo priestess. Okay, she can just grab fire, the ember, like, let me see, I'll show you. Red fiery ember. She could just grab a fiery ember and then crush it with her hand and nothing happened. She said, don't worry, you kids have the same ability. When it's right, you'll know what to do with it. But never do those things in front of people because they'll be scared of you. They won't know what you are. Okay? My grandmother used to take embers, like, and then just take the ember with her hand and crush it. And then her hand is not burning. They were born with these abilities. And this dude is a Haitian master, whatever that is. Okay, again, I can't play the video, brothers. My apology. Okay, so he actually firebend, you know, throughout the video. Okay, he actually firebend. Okay, you see. Okay, he actually firebend. So he put his finger and then the light up. So he's an old Haitian fellow. So that's what happened. So anyway, brethren, we'll get this out of that, and then you can go ahead and watch all the All the links will be in the video. Okay. Now let us keep on moving with this. So now, brethren, what my point is, like, our people, we used to have those things in the past, and we still have the residue in ourselves. It's only a matter of time. The Most High will switch whatever power we have inside of us, brethren, and then we'll cause havoc. It's just we have to wait, keep, fast, pray, repent, repeat. Holding the line. Remember, they say here all the miscellaneous artifacts unrecognized for what it really was. So they have a bunch of our stuff. They have no idea what they are. But we do. The Most High will give us the knowledge. We didn't know what the ley line was. We didn't know what the menhir was. We didn't know what the dolmen was. Now we know what they are. Can you imagine if we saw the certain things that they are hiding, which we will? We'll know what they are. Okay, let's see if we can read a little bit more. Okay, this is the artifact they find. Okay, they find this artifact. They said it was a bird, and it turned out to be an airplane. Okay, all right. Okay, you can let me put this right there. You can freeze this and read that. Okay, you can freeze this and read it. Let me see. You can freeze that. Let me see. Even today, though it's over 2,000 years old, the little plane still soared through the air for a considerable amount of distance with only a slight push of the hand. They find a 2,000-year-old little plane. It still fly, brothers. They just push it, it still fly. They told you how NASA copy all those stuff. All those guys are copy those things, and then they are talking about like, oh yeah, well, so it's like no, it's lies and stuff like this and things like that. No, they got 14 gliders. That means 14 type of airplane they find. They can only copy one, reverse engineering one. So all those things, brothers, this you might see this in Ancient Alien all the time. When they bought it, the guy was they bought expert, and when the guy look at it, they say this is a jet. This thing fly at supersonic speed. This is not a bird. Bird doesn't have the tails like this vertically. The only animals that have the tails like this are fish, but they have it on opposite, up and then down like this, so like so. Fish's tail. Isn't that what that? Well, fish tail. Fish tail. There we go. No. Why are they bringing me? Fish's fin and tail. That's not what that is, man. Oh boy. What I'm trying to. Fish's tail. There you go. What I'm trying to prove, show you, like, you see how this fish has this upper tail? You see this? That's the upper. The airplane only got the upper, not the lower. A fish got the upper and the lower. He said no animals have that. That's an supersonic airplane that can travel at astonishing speed. Okay? You can freeze this and read this, okay? All right. Whoops. It's just way too much, It's just pretty much the same story repeating, beloved, okay? There are so much things in this book. I'm still studying, and I will bring whatever that I found, brothers. Forgive me for being way too long, taking so long to make a point. What I'm saying, brothers, we all are learning, okay? We are learners, so what we are learning, we have to bring it. And I am not saying all the stuff that we find in this book are true, or I'm great and stuff like that. That's not what that is. We learn through the meat, spit out the bone, use the spirit of discernment. So whenever the Most High allows me to go in this book and bring more information for you folks, and I will do this. In the meantime, I'll say be at peace, fast, pray, repent, repeat, beloved. Hold the line. There will be no Jacob's trouble. Be at peace. Stay at peace. Shalom. May the King reign forever.